Hi, I'm Jefferson. This is the Westward Movement. Following the Civil War, the westward movement of settlers intensified between the Mississippi River and the Pacific Ocean. Settlers moving into America was called immigration, in which people came over from northern and western Europe, and eventually America was referred as the melting pot. When they came over through New York Harbor, it was called Ellis Island, and in California it was called Angel Island. Due to increased levels of immigration, the cities grew intensively, turning into the major cities such as Chicago, Detroit, Cleveland, Pittsburgh, and New York. While people continued to move into these areas, living conditions became harsh, crowded, dirty, and turned into slums. Once cities got to this point, people decided to move out westward to search for new jobs and other things to provide for their family, hence the admission of new states.
Over the years, there were many inventions that have changed the world greatly. Thomas Edison created the light bulb and electricity as a source of power and light. Alexander Graham Bell created the telephone. Wright brothers created the airplane. Henry Ford created the assembly line and manufacturing of cars, along with the innovations of the Bessemer steel process and corporation. During the industrialization time, there were four major leaders: Andrew Carnegie Steel Company, J.P. Morgan Finance Company, John D. Rockefeller Oil Company, and Cornelius Vanderbilt Railroads. Laissez-faire capitalism and special considerations such as land grants to build railroads and the increase in labor supplies, America's possession of natural resources and navigable rivers were reasons for economic transformation.
Hey guys, I'm Bobo, and I'm here to talk to you about discrimination of African Americans. There was discrimination against African Americans which caused them to be separated from the whites. Laws limited their freedom, and many southern state governments passed Jim Crow laws that enforced segregation in public places. African Americans looked for the courts to safeguard their rights because crimes like lynching were directed against African Americans. Plessy v. Ferguson said separate but equal. This didn't violate the 14th Amendment. In the 20th century, African Americans began the Great Migration to escape poverty, discrimination, and to find jobs. Now that my friends are gone, we can talk about the responses of discrimination of African Americans. Ida B. Wells led an anti-lynching crusade, causing the federal government to take action. Booker T. Washington believed the way to equality was through education and economic status. W. E. Du Bois thought education was meaningless without equality, helping to form the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People, also known as the NAACP. Now we're going to move on to the progressive movement. In the Gilded Age, the income was disparity. They lived lavish lifestyles and the practice of robber barons. Working conditions were dangerous, there were long hours, low wages, no job security, no benefits, and children and women were employed. The towns were based solely upon the company. The goals of the progressive movement was so the government was controlled by the people, to eliminate social injustices, and that there would be guaranteed economic opportunities regulated by the government.
Go.
Today we're going to talk about the accomplishments of progressive movement. Progressive and local government accomplished new forms of government. The state accomplished initiative, recall, and referendum. There were primary elections, direct elections of U.S. senators, which is the 17th Amendment, with secret ballots. Child labor laws were established and muckraking describing child labor abuse. There were several labor unions like Knights of Labor, American Federation of Labor, which was founded by Samuel Gompers, American Railway Union, which was Eugene versus Debs, and International Ladies Garment Worker Union. Working hours were regulated and work hours were limited. Some were angry, which resulted in Haymarket Square riot, Homestead strike, and the Pullman strike. Antitrust laws were passed. Sherman Antitrust Act prevented business monopolies. The Clayton Antitrust Act expanded Sherman's laws, outlaws pricing fixing, and exempts union from Sherman Act. Go.
Women's suffrage. Women's suffrage was a modern protest movement benefited from strong leaders like Susan B. Anthony, encouraged women to enter labor force in World War I, resulted in the 19th Amendment to the Constitution.